2026 will be a key year that really changes the world's direction. Recently, Judy Hevenly, a medium and astrologer from Los Angeles in the US, has made new predictions about 2026 that are getting attention again. This time, Judy focuses on just a few main points: the situation across the Taiwan Strait, Xi Jinping's final fate, Xi Jinping's two possible successors, world leaders getting assassinated, and a series of natural disasters and strange events. She thinks the world order is at the door of a big reshuffle, and in this chaotic time, 8 countries are seen as the safest and most stable safe havens in 2026. Who is Judy? Why do so many people pay attention to her? She was born in South Africa, grew up and came to work in the US, and now lives in Los Angeles. She is a teacher, astrologer, psychic, and writer. She has sharp intuition and can see spirits and things from far away. She is known for her 25 years of work in the supernatural field. She often appears on big Western TV shows, and her predictions are in many books and newspapers around the world. She mainly serves rich and important people, and she is famous. Her clients include royal family members, former presidents, Hollywood movie stars, and heads of countries. She is listed in the book Top 100 Psychics and Astrologers in America. Her past predictions have a very high hit rate. Judy not only correctly predicted the Russia-Ukraine war starting, the British Queen's death, but also guessed that Trump would come back and become president again. She even predicted that Xi Jinping would successfully stay in power at the 20th Congress of the Communist Party of China, and so on. Below, let's start with the topic everyone cares about most: Xi Jinping's final fate, and the two successors in the prediction. Xi Jinping's two successors. Judy's prediction says that Xi Jinping might step back from the top power center around 2026. She mentions that at the 21st Congress of the Communist Party of China in 2027, Xi Jinping, who will be 74 years old, and another key person, Kai Chi, might already move to secondary roles or change jobs, and hand power to the next generation. In other words, by the end of 2026, Xi Jinping's political career might be in its final stage. So the question is, who might take over from Xi Jinping? In Judy's prediction, two names appear. The first is Yin Hong. The second name is more eye-catching: Hu Haifeng. Yin Hong's background is quite complicated. He worked for a long time in the Shanghai system. Early on, he came from the youth league system in Shanghai colleges. When Xi Jinping was in charge of Shanghai, Yin Hong was the head of Jiabei district in Shanghai. Later, Yin Hong became the Secretary General of the Shanghai Municipal Committee and was the big secretary for Han Zheng, who was the Shanghai Party secretary at the time. Han Zheng is widely seen as an important person in the Jiang faction's Shanghai group, and even said to be a key agent for Jiang Zemin's family interests. From this view, Yin Hong, as Han Zheng's big manager, is naturally put into the Shanghai group system. Because of this, after the 19th Congress, when Li Qiang, seen as Xi Jinping's close ally, became Shanghai Party secretary, Yin Hong, who was deputy secretary and ranked high, was expected to become mayor of Shanghai. His career looked good, but he suddenly left Shanghai and made room for others. Yin Hong then became governor of Henan, party secretary of Gansu, and finally party secretary of Jiangxi, slowly moving away from Shanghai's power center. Until recent years, Yin Hong is again seen by outsiders as a steady and trusted person among middle-aged officials. Judy also thinks Yin Hong could jump to one of the top leadership spots in the future. Hu Haifeng, when he took the job at the Ministry of Civil Affairs in 2024, appeared in public for the first time, but he didn't look great. His hair was gray, and he looked tired. Outsiders thought he was just given an idle job. At a work meeting in the ministry, Hu Haifeng kept his head down looking at papers and hardly spoke or looked up. This made people feel that this former prince might have reached the end of his career. But things started to change last year. Hu Haifeng appeared in public more often, and his position in photos got closer to the front, even in the center sometimes. Now, even an international astrologer's prediction mentions his name. Judy hints that Hu Haifeng's political position might go higher in the future, and he could become a force that can't be ignored on the power stage. From being seen as fading away to being named again, Hu Haifeng's situation seems to be turning around quietly. For this Hu prince, it really looks like things are getting better after a dark time. If Hu Haifeng really rises to power, then the rumors that Xi Jinping has already lost military control and that elder figures are really in charge might not be just talk. Otherwise, would a person who gathers so much power really give it up just because of health? This would be very ironic for someone who changed the constitution, cleaned out opponents, and tried to rule for a long time. If these predictions come true, then in 2026, the Communist Party of China will see a handover from old to new power, and the Xi era that lasted over 10 years might end there. Xi Jinping's final fate. Judy also specially mentions that during the power handover, Xi Jinping might face health problems and pressure from inside the party. Judy thinks this might explain why Xi Jinping has been showing up less lately and giving more daily work to others. This could be a compromise. Xi Jinping steps back behind the scenes for now, avoids the spotlight, and protects himself when high-level fights get stronger. Another British medium, Parker, has a similar view. He predicts Xi Jinping might leave the political stage before 2027, and he sees a scene with a major surgery, even mentioning possible organ transplant and related arguments. In Judy's prediction, Xi Jinping's end might not be a coup or sudden death, but more like being forced to leave in an orderly way because of worsening health and party pressure. This might just be a change of leaders, not the immediate fall of the Communist Party of China. The system itself might last a bit longer. The British medium Parker also says something bigger. He thinks the Chinese communist regime will enter an iceberg-style collapse, and 2026 is the start of its end. Cracks inside China will become more obvious, and areas will split more. The influence networks that the Communist Party of China built around the world for years will be uncovered one by one, including international bribes, spy infiltration, academic infiltration, and even secretly controlling ideas. Parker also mentions some major accidents in basic structures, like railways, bridges, or even problems with the Three Gorges Dam. These are not only seen as results of bad quality projects, but might be viewed by people as signs that the Communist Party of China's luck is running out. Now look at the current world situation. After Trump sent troops to raid Venezuela at night, he said without holding back that Cuba's communist regime could fall anytime. Venezuela, this socialist country, and Cuba, this old communist country, might be dealt with together and change at the same time. This matches Parker's earlier prediction almost exactly. Parker said those red regimes seen as little brothers by the Communist Party of China would change one after another, and dictators would fall in line. What's more interesting is that after the news of Maduro being caught came out, the Communist Party of China, which claims to have an all-weather partnership with Venezuela, suddenly went silent. They only talked about other things and didn't dare make any real response to the U.S. military action. Their so-called Iron Friend was directly attacked, but they didn't even say a strong word. In this scene, Xi Jinping showed what it means to look strong but be weak inside. Some netizens found that now even the words Zhongnanhai have become sensitive on platforms. If you type it, it directly goes to Tongzhou district in East Beijing. The power center is moved with one click. This action itself shows one thing. Xi Jinping is scared, and Beijing's top leaders are really panicking. Taiwan Strait Situation Prediction. Judy once correctly predicted that Lai Ching-te would become Taiwan's president, so her latest judgment on the Taiwan Strait situation is getting extra attention. In her prediction, the Taiwan Strait in 2026 will still be tense, but it might not go to full war. At least from the scene she sees, there won't be a large-scale war in the Taiwan Strait in 2026. Judy points out that the Communist Party of China will keep increasing patrols and military presence around Taiwan's sea and air in 2026, making pressure all the time, but they will control it within the critical point on purpose and not cross the line easily. The key factor that decides the situation is still the U.S. attitude. Because of deep fear of the U.S., Beijing probably won't dare to attack Taiwan rashly during Trump's term. This part of Judy's prediction somehow matches what Trump himself said publicly. Trump recently said in a U.S. media interview, "During my term, Xi Jinping won't dare to attack Taiwan." The reason Taiwan has long been something that can't be avoided is not the split itself, but that it acts as a mirror that can't be covered. This mirror clearly shows a fact. In the same history and same culture base, society can go in very different ways. On one side, power can be given through votes and taken back. Rulers need to be responsible for results, and if they lose public support, they must step down. On the other side, power is seen as something that can't be questioned, and the system's stability depends on control and closing off, not competition and watching. What really makes people uneasy is not what Taiwan did, but that it exists. It proves in its daily running that freedom doesn't always bring chaos, and democracy doesn't mean disorder. Instead, clear systems and limited power can build social trust and long-term stability. When a free system with a Chinese society background keeps running normally and connects with the world's main values, all the talk about can only be governed this way looks weak in comparison. It's not because someone challenges authority on purpose, but because the facts themselves are weakening those justifications that rely on only one story. Because of this, Taiwan's system and freedom make such a clear and hard-to-ignore contrast, and it makes all the Communist Party of China's lies show their true form. World Leader's Assassination Prediction. In Judy's prediction, there is also a scary scene. In 2026, an important world leader will face an assassination attack. As for who this person is, Judy didn't name them and didn't give details about the place or how. She just left a very shocking outline. But because of this, outsiders started guessing all kinds. From influence and symbol, the ones who really count as world-level big country leaders are just the top leaders of the US, Russia, and China. If any one of them has trouble, it could shake the global order. Judy didn't give an answer, but this mystery itself is enough to make people alert. 2026 might not just be political unrest, but a year with high risks and big shocks. It's worth noting that in the big reshuffle of world order, Judy thinks 8 countries are seen as the safest and most stable safe havens in 2026, including Canada, the United Arab Emirates, Australia, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Denmark, New Zealand, and Japan, becoming shelters in a troubled world.